Do I? You can take a picture of it like a normal picture. Should be fine. Yeah, that's perfect. You can bring it all up to the front and I'll show you how to log in with it. I just tap where it says tap here to check in. Make sure to put the QR code image in front of the camera, and then it should recognize it. Might have to move it back a little bit. Bring it in over. Real closer. There we go. Is that you, Joseph? All right, you're good. Anyone else need help logging in to the front here with your QR or your Macs, either one? Okay, go ahead and go into Eagle real quick. And this is Web225, digital photography, intro to digital photography. And my name is Professor Chuck Conkle. Been with you in that 15 weeks. And this is an introductory course. And so had a few emails the last few weeks on cameras that you might, but I require. Any camera you already have is fine. I've even taught it with students with their smartphone. So I teach you the techniques of how to take photography and you know how to frame a photo, how to edit a photo, things of that nature. And so you can use any camera really. I don't want you to go out and buy a brand new camera just for the course. When you're ready though, I do recommend Camera Craft on, if you want to buy a brand new camera ever, on Perryville. Really good place. The guys are real nice, real helpful, and they have pretty good deals on cameras. But as the semester goes on, the first few weeks here, you'll learn about the different types of cameras, especially next week. And but hold off on buying a new camera. Just use whatever you got, or even borrow a camera from a family or friend. That'd be fine. Okay. So real quick, what I'd like to do is kind of tell you a little bit about myself. I've been at the college for 17 years. Come originally from Springfield, Missouri. I was born in New York and raised on a farm in southern Missouri from 5 up. And I have a background of theology and technology. I actually have my bachelor's in theology and a master's in computer science and communication. And so I'm a theological geek, I guess you could say. And so always loved gadgets, always loved to tinker with stuff and fix stuff growing up. Grew up on a farm, and so didn't have a lot of toys, but we had a lot of farm equipment to where we could make pretty cool stuff and make a lot of loud noises, and nobody really cared. And so, yeah, it's a wonder I'm alive, but I made it through. And so over the years, I was about, I guess, 22, 23. I switched careers from pastoral to teaching. And here's how it happened. I was in my master's degree. One of the professors, Dudley Moore was his name, in a graphics design class, wanted me to help teach a class a couple times. He used to make this fishing. How many likes to fish or know somebody that likes to fish? He used to make this fishing lure book, right? That he has a catalog of fishing lures. And he would spend a good half of the semester working on it in class. And then the last half, he actually, you know, did some stuff in class with the students. But he was a cool guy, though, knew a lot about graphics. So anyway, long story short, I taught a couple classes for Dudley and fell in love with teaching and switched everything, basically. Moved here in 2000. I was a computer science director at Rockford Christian School in town for about 7 years. Came here and was working both jobs for about 7 years. And then I thought I could drop one job, the Rockford Christian job, and just work here full time. That was a plan anyway. It lasted about a year, and then a local company in town called me programming help, which I do programming and teach programming here on campus as well. And that was 8 years ago. So I literally had a year with one job and then back to 2 jobs. And so I don't know. I guess I'm blessed with work and it keeps me out of trouble probably. And so digital photography, graphic designer, I was that for a number of years. Programming, on the programming side of things, I teach and my day job as a programmer as well. Mobile app development I teach here, Windows app development, web development. So if you're into any of those or interested in any of those, let me know. I'm really involved in the community, Rockford region community. I volunteer at Transform Rockford for the last 3 years. We have students that rotate in Transform Rockford from the college, usually about 6 to 8 students, from the website to the photography side to social media. And so if you're interested in that, let me know. I'll plug you in, put you to work. It's a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of cool people. And been involved with that since 2013 when it started. And transformrockford.org is a website. You can look. Most of the jobs or most of the work on the website and photography has been done by Rock Valley College students. And so it's kind of cool to be able to feed those in. And what's funny about students that help in Transform Rockford, I have them for about usually 3 to 6 months at the most, and they get a job and can't volunteer anymore because they're too busy working, which is a good problem. And so it always leads to a job, not just volunteering Transform Rockford, but anything you do volunteer-wise that I've had students plugged into as far as internships, most always, I would say 99% of the time, turn into a full-time job. Let's talk about our website, myrvc.org. If you want to go there real quick, I usually try to plug it the first night, myrvc.org. It's going to have a lot of information for you when it comes to jobs, internships. You can just click OK, got it on that pop-up. So you'll notice underneath the Welcome Back Students image where it says jobs, needing to fill 3 positions, and IT internship Woodward. This one right here was just posted, I think, January 4th, and this was posted January 3rd. 2 out of the 3 positions of this Montel Technologies has already been filled. The Woodward position, I believe, is still open, and they just need a general tech there. But anytime we get a job in town, a company that needs a student, we post it immediately. So here's what I recommend day 1, night 1, because the first week's a lot of little stuff you got to do for all your classes. I know you got to get ready this. Same here in this class. One of the little stuff I'd like you to do is bookmark our website, number 1. You'll notice we have Facebook and Twitter at the top, and even we do Snapchat stories, usually once a week, every other week, whatever, of events. So if you're on Snapchat, you can follow us there. And the reason I'd like you to follow us and like us on social media is anytime we post a job or an internship, you'll be prompted of it immediately. And what's cool about Rockford is a lot of the CEOs and presidents will give students their cell number to call them if they're interested in a job they have available. That's actually unheard of, right? An example is Ty Comics here in town. Ty Comics has been around for a number of years, and Tim Anaconda is the president of Ty Comics, and Entree Computers is another example. Both those businesses will give students, when I ask them, hey, who do you want me to put on the contact for this job? Just give them a cell number. That's pretty cool, right? CEOs and presidents just get a cell number. And what's cool about it is, going further is, if you don't know what you want to get into in technology, I know you're interested in photography, that's why you're here tonight, but if you don't know what you want to get into yet, which maybe some of you fit in that mold, we do have a hack night the 4th Wednesday of the month. It meets up in room 220, which they've changed the number. It's a longer number now, but I'll post it on our site. But hack night basically is a place to kind of hang out with other students interested in technology. You can work on class projects. Doesn't have to be programming or anything like that. It could be just any project you want to work on. What's cool about that hack night is we do have outside folks that come in and mingle with the students. And it's really cool because last semester we had a bus driver, right? This guy's a retired bus driver that still drives a bus like 4 or 5 days a week, but he's an inventor, and he's invented a whole bunch of cool gadgets. Like this one thing he just invented was a digital scale that has like 8 lasers, and he built it all himself. And he actually demoed it last semester because some of the hack nights, if people want to, they can demo what they're working on. He brought it in and demoed it, and it was cool. You just laid a package on it, and within a second, it measured it, weighed it, and then told how much it was going to be for shipping. And then we had some other students in there that's like, they helped him with figuring out how much a shipping cost would be with a little app that they created. And so hack nights, you'll hear more about it. And I think I might have posted it in the announcements possibly. I don't know if I did not or not for this class, but I will. I recommend hack nights though. We do feed you pizza. You just bring in something to drink, and it's an hour in length. That's it, from 6 to 7, fourth Wednesday. So recommend that. But myrvc.org, bookmark it, follow us, check out the site, what it's all about, tons of stuff in there. If you have an iOS or Droid phone, you can download our CIS mobile app for our division. We've had it out there for a number of years. This is an app that we recently published and put up there called College Memory App. It's, anybody remember the game Flappy Birds? You know, remember the guy that was homeless, had a cool idea called Flappy Birds, made like $5 million in the first year and a half, and it was just too much, and he said, forget it, I can't do it. He's actually doing pretty good right now, by the way, but he just needed a lot of help, not just financially, but mentally, and needed some counseling. Anyway, he's doing a great job. But he had a great idea and made a lot of money. But anyway, this app here, the reason I'm mentioning Flappy Birds, it has a little Flappy Bird kind of game at the front end that we created. And all it does is, if you're interested, you play a level of Flappy Birds. And I think the levels are easy, medium, and yeah, right. Those are the 3 levels. It's a really short game. It's where you fly a memory stick, a USB memory stick, has wings. You fly the memory stick through some memory modules, and when you go for like 2 or 3 seconds, it goes to a form you can fill out. And then if you're interested in other things about the campus, like say you want to find out about network, you want to find out about programming, you want to find out about anything we teach here, you can fill a little form out. It'll send it to our chair, our division chair, Stephanie Washer, who will meet with you personally. But what's even cooler about it, it sends you a personalized link, a web link that's designed just for you. So when you get the web page, it has your name at the top, everything you check that you're interested in, along with some other links that are applicable as far as suggested paths for courses, things like that. Because it's kind of confusing when you come to college, I remember. Especially if you don't know what you want to do, which is normal. That's definitely normal. And it might take you a semester or 2 to figure out what it is you want to do. I recommend plugging yourself into as much as humanly possible for that first semester or 2 that you can humanly do, and then you'll figure out what you want to do. You really will. And so the hack nights, definitely recommend that. Volunteering, doing internships. And you're probably thinking about internships, I'm not going to get paid for it. In most internships, I'd say about 99% of the internships are paid. And what's cool about internships beyond getting paid is that you do get 1 credit for that internship if you work 75 hours or more that semester. So even if you weren't to get paid, which some of them don't, very few don't, but if you weren't, you still get a credit for it. So it goes towards your graduation. And the experience you get in an internship, regardless what it might be, let's say you get an internship this semester in photography at RR Star. That's happened before in this class. You work with photographers, go to all the events. You might carry camera bags, get coffee possibly. You're just basically the grunt for the photographer. But you learn a lot of cool stuff. And so anything you can do internship-wise or volunteer-wise, it's going to help you become a better student because you're going to implement what you're learning immediately. And you're going to meet so many cool people and neat people. And like I said earlier, a lot of these land jobs, which as a professor, I love to teach, but the one thing that I even love more doing is connecting students to, I thought that was my phone, connecting students to jobs, because that's what we're here for, right? I mean, be great if you were just here to learn something cool. You have nothing else to do. You know, you're pretty much set financially. You're not going to work. You're just going to learn some cool stuff at the campus, and you know, that's about it. That's what you're here for. But most of you are here to learn something to where hopefully you'll make some money, right? Somewhere down the line. And hopefully that's what we can do, put you to get you connected with local employers. So that's my heart. That's who I am. That's where I'm from. And so let's just go around the room real quick. I just wanted to give you your first name, why you're taking the class, and that's it. Okay, so start here.
All right, my name is Amanda, and I'm taking the course because not only is it a requirement, but I also like taking pictures. And
there you go.
them, so.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. Yep. All right.
Well, my name is Taylor, and mine's pretty much the same thing. It's also a requirement, but I do like to paint.
Right.
I'm Josh. I'm taking the class. It's a requirement.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for being here.
I'm Casey, and my plan is to become a sports photographer.
Awesome. Great. Thanks, Casey.
Brandon, I'm here. It's a requirement.
Okay, and behind you? All right. Thanks for being here.
My name is Christian. I take it because I'm a graphic designer and that'll be helpful.
You take most of your graphics on Centrum?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Did you take some from Scott?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
My name is Justin. I'm taking this.
All right. Thanks for being here.
Joe. I'm taking this because I want to graphic arts.
Thanks for being here. Yes.
Don, interested in getting a certificate in web design, web development, and we found interest in photography.
Great. Thanks for being here, man. All right. Well, as you saw on the beginning slide here I had, over the break, we took photos, right? When I taught high school, the high school students grow up, by the way. Like you guys remember in high school? This student's married now, and he's got a wife who does photography. And so one of the presents we had from our son Mark here, this is our son Mark, is mom, my wife Carolyn here, always wants, like a lot of moms, when everybody's together, can we please get a family photo? Okay, everybody's here. Why can't we get a family photo while everybody's here? Any other moms do that? Did you know? Okay, so she finally got her wish, and they came out on Christmas Eve, and that's my 41 pickup there, bottom left, 41 Chevy. That's the entire family right there, the Conkle clan right there. On the left, we have here my son-in-law, JB Love. He works at 98.5. He's a DJ. Brittany, there's Lucy. She's 2. Jaden's 7. My wife, Carolyn. Myself. This is Casey, daughter-in-law. Q, 8-month-old. He's awesome. All my grandchildren are awesome, but Q is the new one on the block. And then Mark. Here's a cool picture. Q's actually, he always takes his pictures like he's posing for like Abercrombie and Finch or something. He's only 8 months old. It's like, are you serious? And I like this one right here. He's actually just like chilling out with Jaden. He thinks Jaden the next thing, but best I think is sliced bread. But I had a great family, great grandkids, and I saw a quote the other day that said, "Being a grandparent is like a parent's second chance." Right? Now I was a pretty good parent, I think, but you know, every parent makes mistakes. You wish you'd be there more, all that stuff. Kids, man, you can just spoil them to live and death, man. It's just like just all the stuff they want, they can have that they've ever wanted. So grandparents are great. And so being a grandparent's awesome. On the upper left, the reason I threw that one in there, it's not on my family, but it is an example of what you'll be doing this semester. It's a before and after picture. One of the weeks we do restoration week, where you find a cool family photo that's marked up like that one on the upper left, which we all have them, right? Either you have them, your grandpa has them. Somebody in your family has a photo that's all marked up. And you're like, man, you look at it all the time, and you're like, yeah, it'd be cool to have that cleaned up and looking brand new. And so that's what I'll teach you how to do that. And some of you in graphic design will, you'll be, really ready for it. If you've never done anything graphics before, I'll teach you how to do it. And so on the right, there's a finished version of what the student did from the one on the left. So that's just an example of just one of the things you'll be doing this semester. And so let's jump right into Eagle, if we could. So Eagle, this is what your page looks like, besides the stuff on the right. In fact, I'm going to hide that real quick here. I'm going to set my student view so it looks like yours, hopefully here. So this is what yours should look like, hopefully. At the top portion is my information. And yes, this is my direct line phone number. It's a Google phone number. So if you call it, it'll go right to voicemail. And you can leave a voicemail, immediately give it to me. Or you can use text as well. It'll come right to my phone. So you can use that. So if you have a question about anything, I encourage you to text me with that number. It's not going to upset me and be intrusion to me. That's why I put it on there. So, and many students, I know if you're like Mark and Brady, our two kids, the only way I can communicate with them is texting. That's it. Now, granted, I can get things done quicker by a phone call, but the only way I can connect is texting. So definitely text any questions you might have. Hopefully you won't have a lot, but you might have some, or maybe about an internship or whatever. You can text me about it. My email there. If you do email me, it'll come to me immediately, and I am very responsive, or try to be very responsive to your emails. So regardless of what time it is, you can send it to me. General course navigation helps. When you click on that, it just gives some helps on general course navigation. Course success, I will click on that one. So starting next week, make sure to bring your camera to class or your smartphone, whatever it is you're going to use. Have your camera with you, though, starting next week at all times. So wherever you go, even outside of the class, because you may never know when you could use it. And that's the first habit I want to teach you. Week 1 is beginning to carry your camera with you. Everybody has a backpack like myself, or the one thing I don't recommend is leaving your car, especially during the winter, because cameras really don't like it to be cold. Kind of hurts the battery life and things like that. So keep it with you all the time. Joining discussion during the class time. I definitely recommend that. Turn in your work on time. If you're going to be late, just email me or text me. Let me know. Stuff happens, I know, in life. A guy this morning that was coming to work, lives in Winnebago, and he did a 360 on the road because it was really icy this morning, real slick. Thank God it didn't hurt him, and he made it to work on time. But he almost had to call me to let me know he's going to be late. But he made it. So if something's going to be late, something happened on the way to work, on the way to school, like flat tire. Hopefully it doesn't happen. Car problems, kid problems, family problems, life stuff. Just email me as soon as you can and let me know you're going to be late, either for work, for turning in stuff, or even for class even. That happens. And then have fun. The best way to learn, in my experience as a teacher and as a person, is if I have fun doing it, I'm going to want to do it again. And you might think of another synonym for fun might be, enjoy it, be able to think of different ways to use it in your life, whatever it might be, more productive. But basically having fun is going to help you tremendously. So I'm going to go back to the home here. I'm not going to click on this, but if you need help with RVC Eagle, if you're new to RVC Eagle, you can click on that link. It'll help you with a tutorial that they've created, Eagle has to help you. Syllabus, I'm not going to click on that, but you can go over that. Live chat, this one here, I will click on. And this one is dead right now because I've turned it off on purpose. But it will be live after the class. But if I'm available, you'll see that I'm available. If I'm not, it'll tell you I'm not available. Course documents just takes you to the course documents of the course. And this is basically stuff that's been compiled over the times I've taught the class, some things that we'll be using, some stuff we'll be doing. So that's what that is. And then course discussion, I'll click on that. Here's where you can post both course and non-course related items in here. And this is kind of your area to post questions, comments. You need help on a computer. You're buying a new phone. What do people think? Suggestions people might have. Even if, I even let students use it to sell stuff if they want to. I don't care. It's a safe environment. So if you want to do that, that's great. All right. Just be civil, be nice to each other. And kind of it's your area. I try to stay out of it. And so if you have questions, I'm going to let you guys answer each other's questions in here that will be helpful to build community. And so use this as much as you want to. I suggest checking it at least once a day, maybe. It's either any new post, or if you have a post in there, you can post something in there. And again, it's not a graded thing, just something to help. This link here brings to web page. If you need help ever with your computer at home, say you're one of the weeks you're having to edit, say we're talking about the week where we're doing the restoration week, and your computer, you don't know how to do something, you can set up a time with me on this using this Meet with the Prof, and set up a time, and I'll email you 5 minutes before. You'll email me, your ID and password of TeamViewer, whether you have a Mac or PC, and then I'll connect to you on your computer and help you. And what's cool about TeamViewer is it's totally free, and it's a one-time key. So once I help you, that key's dead after that. It can't be used after that. And I do recommend, if you have a computer at home that maybe you do a lot of work on, it might be a desktop or laptop, you don't want to log it into school, TeamViewer is really good because you can install TeamViewer at home at no cost. It's totally free. And you can set it up as what's called an unintended user to where when you leave your house, you can log into TeamViewer from your phone, from any computer in here or on campus, and get a file, maybe a report you need to print out or something you want to work on in between class. You can use TeamViewer to do that. Like tonight, I have a MacBook that I usually bring in, but I've been over the last year and a half bringing just my iPad Pro in. And if I need to get something on my MacBook, I just remote into a TeamViewer. It's great. And TeamViewer does have a web version to where you can just log in through a website and get to your computer. But a lot of students aren't aware of it, and I try to mention that day one because it might be helpful, maybe not for this class, but maybe for some other classes or other stuff you're doing in life to be able to remote into a computer versus having to get that computer, all right? So avail yourself to that. So week one, I try to put nice little pictures here for each week. So this week is just an introduction. Then we've got week two, we go over camera history. Week three, go into settings and contrast. Week four, contact sheet. I show you how to do that. Every time you take photos, it's good to have a contact sheet, little thumbnails of that session that you did. And that way, when you look at them later, you know exactly what it is you're looking at when you pull the DVD out or the CD out. And so a little contact sheet helps with that. Week five, exposure. Week six, white balance. Week seven's restoration. I showed you an example of that earlier. Week eight, panoramic. And on the panoramic one, some of your cameras already have a panoramic setting. We'll be doing it the old school way on doing panoramics, which is a lot of fun. and basically panoramics, taking about 7 or 8 shots in succession. And I'll show you how to stitch them together using Photoshop, and then also using a free app that I recommend that's online that we'll use called Dermander that stitches it together. And then you can share that creation of yours on social media. And so week 8 is panoramic, week 9 landscape. Week 10 is macro. That's a fun one. All these are fun, but a couple of these I really like, the type of photography. Macro is where you get really, really close to an object to take its photo. And depending on the object, it can look really creepy or scary, but it's totally harmless, right? Like a close-up shot of a fly, like really close on his face. It looks pretty scary, right? Because if you don't know what it is, you know, all these tentacles and big fangs, and you're like, wow, that's pretty scary. This is a little fly. So macro photography is all your cameras have settings for that. We'll go over that. Week 11, I'll bring in my umbrella lights and I'll show you how to take photos with umbrella lights. Because in week 12, you'll get to invite your family and friends. We'll meet out in one of the other classrooms, the bigger ones, and have a lab, a photography lab, portrait lab, where you'll bring in friends and family, your nieces and nephews, your cousins, the little ones to come in and take their photos. We used to be able to bring in dogs, but for safety's sake, they don't let us do that anymore. But it was kind of cool though when we used to bring in animals. We had dogs, lizard, had a ferret one semester. What else I have? Parakeet. We can't have any animals anymore. That's kind of a bummer, but whatever. I'm getting over it slowly. So you'll hear me talk about it some more, but I'll eventually forgive for that. But anyway, portrait lab's a fun one because you get to actually do portraits like they do in the big portrait studio. And what I do on that one is usually I have 2 rooms. One room has a different backdrop than the other room, and you get to kind of play around with taking photos of your friends and family, and then your other people's friends and families as well. Week 13, you'll begin working on your final portfolio. I'll bring in the portfolios next week. Basically what it is you'll choose a photography profession. I think I gave you like 20 of them to choose from. Once you choose that profession, you then take a whole bunch of photos in that profession, or you gather those photos that you've already taken maybe in your life. You've already taken them already. That's fine. I show you how to digitize them and put it to background music and load it on a DVD. So when you're done with the portfolio, you've got thumbnails of your photos. Usually it's about 30 or 50. You've got a DVD of your photos with background music. You got a 1-page resume, which I'll help you with. And then 3 to 5 8x10 glossies that you'll print out and put in a binder. And that's your portfolio. And those portfolios can be used. I've had students use them actually to get internships, things of that nature. But even if you don't do that, it's cool to do it. I don't know how many students over the years come to me years later and go, you know, that portfolio thing we did, I still do that every year in my family reunion. I put together a DVD of our reunion and get the entire family, and they love it. So if nothing else, it helps you, learn a new tool, new trick of the trade you don't know. And all the tools, by the way, that I use this semester are free. All the apps that we use, all the websites that we use are totally free, don't cost you anything. One of the websites we will be using for photo editing is, or actually 2. One is the Pixlr, pixlr.com. It's a website that it's kind of like online Adobe Photoshop, basically what it is. And we'll be using that. The other one is Picasa by Google. It's a free photo management tool for Mac or PC. It's awesome. I mean, I love Mac's photography management tool called Photos, but Picasa's much better, and it's totally free. And it does some minor editing you can do on it and stuff. And with Picasa, you can actually create a final DVD, photo DVD for your final, which is really nice. So week 13, you'll begin working on your final portfolio. Class attendance is optional. Week 14, same deal. And I'll be here both weeks, by the way, to help you out. A lot of students will come in to look at portfolios, work on the Mac, do some photo editing, stuff like that. You can come and go as you please on those 2 weeks. Week 15 is a mandatory attendance. I have a little checklist I go by to make sure you're good to go for the next week, which is presenting your portfolio. On that week, which is the last night of class for this Web225, I'll gather all your DVDs as you come in, and then I'll play them up here on the overhead one at a time. I'll have you tell successes, challenges that you had during the process of your portfolio, and we'll just watch each other's portfolio. It's awesome, and it's a lot of fun. And on that one, I started this last time. I only usually used to do this in my networking classes, but the last class, I teach this every spring. I started buying pizza for you guys. So you get pizza for your final portfolio, which you're not supposed to have pizza in this lab, but I'm a rebel like that. I bend the rules sometimes, so just don't tell anybody. And so we'll have pizza in here. You guys will eat some pizza and watch portfolios. So questions before we go any further? Okay, the makeup of the class, by the way it'll work starting next week. This is kind of an intro night. I'm not going to keep it real long. But generally, when you come in, you'll check in. The iPad Pro will be ready 15 minutes prior to class. So by 7:15, it'll be ready. I do like kind of country, rock, old school country, kind of Leonard Skinner type music. So if you hear that, I hope you're not offended, but I kind of keep music in here right up till class time. Okay. If you like any other type of music though, let me know. I'll play it. Okay. But right at class time, we'll stop it. And so I think in graphic design and photography, it's real important. Music plays an important role. Even in programming, it does. I listen to music all day long. And I grew up in a musician's home. That probably has something to do with it. And I am a musician myself and play guitar and saxophone. And the new one I picked up was the ukulele. Oh man, I love that instrument. Ukuleles are like everywhere now. Everybody's playing ukulele, right? Not just in country, but rock, jazz. But I do love music. And so music is important though to spur creativity. And it zones you out. White noise. I don't like loud music, but music you really love can really help your creativity blossom. And so recommend listening to music while you're being creative. Music also, brings you back to things you were doing when that song came out. Some good memories, some bad memories. So, but music brings good, memories and bad memories both. But it definitely brings creativity. So I'll be playing music as you come in. Once 7:30 hits, I'll do any announcements we have. Like generally, I'll do some announcements on events coming up. Like I've given a few already, the hack night. The other event I've not mentioned, and I'll mention now, is the RBC Hour of Code. We try to offer a free hour of code to the community once a month. We've done it for about a year. I've done it for about a year now. At the end of this month, we're doing the RBC Hour of Code is on robotics. You can type in the website. And so this is the last one we did in December. Here's the new RBC president. He's a good guy there. But anyway, they did a little robot called Ozobot, and 2-hour session. We're gonna have another one at the end of this month. It does cost $65 for students, regular $80, but you get to leave with a robot, a portfolio of how to program the robot, and it's real simple drag and drop programming. And the program's totally free to use. It's an online program that you use. And so Hour of Code I recommend if you're interested in or want to be interested in, or you think you might be interested in, or family friend you might be interested in. Every month we offer RBC Hour of Code. Starting in February 1st actually, the Wednesday night, downtown location. I don't know if you've heard about it. We have an RBC downtown location now, the RR Star building. I'll be doing an hour of code the first Wednesday of every month, starting in February, all the way through May. And it's just for 1 hour, and it's totally free, doesn't cost anything. So if you can't come to the one at the end of this month, come to any of those through May. And these are just pictures of some of the folks that have attended the hour of code. And so kind of cool. So if you just remember RVC Hour of Code, or if you just go to myrvc.org, it has all the links there as well. So once you go through announcements, once I go through announcements, we'll go into the course discussion for that week. What we're covering, like next week, is the camera history and going over I have a little presentation on that. Once we're done with the discussion, we go over a lab generally. And generally the first 3 or 4 weeks of class, it's a group lab to where you do something together. So you get to kind of know each other around you, get to take each other's picture, get to walk around campus a little bit. I've had students go to Beef-A-Roo, or they, just do it out here in the real nice lobby now is a nice place to take photos too. And so, but the first few weeks is group type stuff. Your labs will kind of be started as a group type lab, and then you'll leave and go with the lab, and then we're done for the night. And so that's pretty much each week. So login, announcements, discussion, lab, and I usually go over the assignment you have before we start the lab, because generally when I talk about the lab, you're going. So we'll have some assignment each week, starting even with this week, and the assignment is wrapped around the concept of what we're talking about. And generally, because of the photography class, a lot of it has to do with camera settings, placement, photo placement, post-editing of photos, things of that nature. So everything has to do with photography. So if you'll click on week 1 there in Eagle, and by the way, that little camera, by the way, I know you've already clicked on week 1, but I'll show you. That week 1 camera, anybody know what that camera is there? What kind of camera that is? You just blurred it out. Anybody? It starts with a B. It's a Brownie. It's got a Brownie Camera. You might have heard of that maybe. It's an old school camera. It's actually my very first camera I ever had. I was like 10 years old. And I saved up money with my grandfather's camera. I saved up money to build my own darkroom by mowing lawns. And I had a closet, right? And boys, I know that girls aren't like this, but boys, I didn't care about closet. I didn't really need a closet. So I took all my clothes out of the closet, and I made took some old crates and built some shelves of my own and put my clothes on crates in the room. And that closet was my dark room. And I bought the equipment for the dark room, which was chemicals, a magnifier, a place to hang up my photos after I was done. It was awesome, man. I worked on it for like 1.5 years. But what's cool about the Brownie is it has a negative in the Brownie camera. The film negative is 4x3. So, before I could afford the device that magnified the photo onto paper, I actually just did a lot of 4x3s for the first 6 months. But that was my very first camera. It's really special. I still have it in my media room, and my grandkids play with it now. It's non-functional, so they really can't hurt it. But show that to you. Kind of nostalgic. So first thing is iTunes U. Subscribing to that. You maybe never heard of that. You've heard of iTunes probably. iTunes U is owned by Apple. We've got about 900 plus, maybe close to 1,000 colleges a part of iTunes U. It's a service by Apple for educational facilities to post video podcasts, audio podcasts, and PDFs at no cost to anyone. And so we use it. I also video what you're doing, what you're watching right now, what you're listening to tonight. So this is a podcast actually right now. So what you're seeing and hearing is being recorded, and we'll actually see a link of it in just a second. But the first task is subscribing to podcast, reading your syllabus, and the About Me we'll go over in a second. So if you click on that subscribe, by the way, that's what it'll do. This link right here is actually what we're doing tonight. It's actually a live video right now of the monitor and my voice using Google, or it's actually YouTube Live is what they call it now. So that'll be ready as soon as you leave. It's ready, and I don't expect anybody to watch it the entirety. If you do, that's okay, but you probably won't. but there might be times where we talk about something, you might want to forward fast to it and watch like a segment. When podcasting first started in education, especially on larger campuses, we started in 2006, by the way, and I podcast all my classes. But here's what happened in education. You know, especially let's pretend this room is a classroom of 300 in a lecture hall, and you're all feverishly taking notes because you're just so excited. You don't want to miss anything because there's a test tomorrow, and you're like, whoa, I'm not gonna miss it. Well, when podcasting came around, taking notes changed. Instead of feverishly writing everything down, like say the professor says 30 minutes into it, okay, here's what you need to know about the quiz tomorrow. The student would take their phone out and look at their time and go 30 minutes, okay, 30 on their notes. And in between classes, between that class and the next class, they're actually forward fasting in the podcast, that 30-minute spot, and going over the notes for the quiz the next day. So that's what technology's done with podcasting. And what's cool about podcasting, besides what I just mentioned, is if you need help with any other course you're taking here, or you're thinking about taking a course or a section of courses, like switching your major or something, go to iTunes U and search for that major in iTunes U and subscribe to some podcasts from like Princeton, from MIT, from Harvard, even from Rock Valley. And watch some podcasts, and you'll figure out real quick if that's something you want to go into. But if you're already in a class, like say you're taking calculus, you need help, or you're taking Spanish, or you're taking speech, there's already hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of classes on iTunes U that you can subscribe to totally free and get help at your leisure. So you can literally pick and choose what you want. So here's my challenge. Not only subscribe to our course podcast for our class, while you're there, subscribe to some other stuff that are out there because it's not going to cost anything. And while you're in there too, you can search for other podcasts in iTunes, like your favorite band. They more than likely have a podcast, or they have a podcast channel. Anything you're interested in, photography, hundreds and hundreds of photography podcasts are out there that'll help enhance what you're learning this semester. And so I encourage you to subscribe to one or two more podcasts just so you'll kind of get used to it. And, you know, most of the podcasts that I just mentioned only last about 5 to 10 minutes. They're really short, but they have like the daily news of what you're talking about and photography, little snippets of tips and tricks and stuff. So definitely recommend it. Subscribing to more than just our class. The About Me, some of you have already started, just tells a little bit about yourself since we only meet once a week. It's worth 20 points. You're going to copy and paste the questions below, answer them, and then everybody else is going to read your answers and reply to at least 2 other people's posts. You can reply to more. And again, just to kind of get to know each other a little bit. All right. So name you go by, favorite food, favorite movie, hobbies while you're taking the class. Questions on that? Okay. PhotoSite is an assignment for this week. Or actually, PhotoSite is one of the assignments for this week, besides About Me. Folky.com, I'll click on that link here. Folky is a free, and then you can pay for the service as well. The free one has ads, but a lot of photographers use Folky. I'll show you what mine looks like, and I've been using it for a number of years, as you can see. Here's a Web225, all the different courses that I've uploaded that students have used and uploaded projects. I have family as well. What's nice about Folky is, though, you can password protect your, like I have my family photos are all password protected. So you can password protect your photo albums or folders. So we'll use Folky this semester for your photos, for your assignments. And what's cool about it is you can create a folder called Web225 like you see up here, and then maybe create subfolders like week 1, week 2, so on and so forth. And I walk you through how to do that, by the way. But that's generally what you'll do is you'll create a folder for those photos for that week. And then you'll just send me a link to those photos. Like an example, I'll look here. I'll just scroll down and look at some here, like fall 2011. Here's a portrait one we did, panoramic, manipulation, that's the restoration one, exposure, and then classmates where they took photos of each other. And so Folky is a really cool service. You can, besides using it for class, you can use it for personal use, which I recommend. But the reason photographers use it is you can create your own store on Folky and price your own photos. Down below, say if you wanted to become a wedding photographer or try it out at least, you can create your own store and charge for those photos for people to buy. And so it's kind of cool because of that. And you can print from Folky as well, and they'll send it to your house within like 2 days. All right. So good service. The free one though is ad driven. If you want to pay for it, it's not real expensive, but I do recommend it. I've had it for about, I don't know, 8 years, something like that, and I've been real happy with it. So you'll sign up with your Folky account. As soon as you sign up, it will give you a URL. So if you look at mine on the overhead, mine's Chukon, Chukon, and I just took the first three of my first name, first three of my last name, and that's my username. And so you'll submit that URL which is your username basically, in that assignment. So you'll submit it here. Make sense? Once you sign up for it. And again, it's totally free, ad driven, but totally free. And you don't have to pay for it. Next is tell me what type of camera or a camera you're going to be using this semester. And it can be a smartphone as well, that's fine. But just post it here what it is, make a model, like Fujifilm, FinePix, Nikon, Coolpix, S630, 6300. You'll submit it here in a text box entry. Question on those three, about me, the last one, which was the Folky, and then make a model of your camera. Pretty simple, right? Next, last and not least, photo inspiration. I like to start with this one. This is your assignment for the week. To get started, I'm going to blow up this page a little bit here if I can. Hopefully you see that a little better where you're at. So to get started this semester, I want to give you a take-home assignment that'll inspire you as you begin learning how to take good photographs. So you'll go to this site. We'll look at it in a second. Browse. There's going to be tons of photographer portfolios. Browse at least 5 of them. Now, we'll tell you as a disclaimer, there are portfolio sites on there that might be kind of racy to you, might be kind of risque, because that's photography, okay? So if you don't like that or you're offended by that, just don't look at it. Okay, you'll know real quick if that photographer's into that, okay? I don't think there's any real blatant nudity on any of them, but there might be some showing more skin than others, and so just be aware of that when you're looking at these portfolio sites, okay? So you'll find 5 that you like, find photographers you like, you'll browse their photos, and then what you're going to do is reply below with a photo that caught your eye. And here's my suggestion on number 3 before I read anything else. Try to look at these photos as total non-objective, man. You're just unbiased. You're like, okay, I'm new to this. I'm just looking at photos. And when you find one you really like, you don't know why you like it maybe, that's the one you want to use, okay? And when you find that photo, there's different ways you can upload it here in this environment. You can take a screenshot if you're not familiar with that term. If you have Windows 7, Vista 10, Windows 10, there's a tool called Snippet that you can use. And I even put some steps on how to use it. If you're a Mac user, you can use the Shift-Command-4 key. It'll save that image to your desktop. And then upload it to the discussion. The one I suggest besides uploading, it's just a lot of fun, is you can upload it, by the way, but TinyPic is a service I recommend using. TinyPic, I created a podcast that actually how to use it, but basically TinyPic is a service that allows you to upload photos, and here's what it looks like. And you don't have to sign into TinyPic either, by the way. And again, they have some photos you might not like. You never know what you're going to find on TinyPic. But you'll upload it, choose a photo, tag it, put a name on it. They're all going to be images. You just upload it. And as soon as you upload it, it's going to give you a link. Once it gives you a link, and I suggest selecting the link that's an image link. it'll end with an image extension, like a .jpeg, .png, something like that. Once you get that image link, you'll come over here and post it below with that link. It's all you got to do. Make sense? And so once you posted it, people will see that tiny pic link, and they'll look at everybody's photos. And once you upload that photo, or you use tiny pic and just post a URL to it, either one, you're going to reply to at least 3 other students' photos. And when you post a photo, I want you to just give me an example of why you like it. All right, and I'm going to pick on Casey since she was really good this semester. She posted her first, and I'll just post your comment. And so she posted a URL here, both tiny pics here, and then gave a reason why she liked it. They're breathtaking, caught her eye, trying to become a wedding photographer, and gave the name of the photographer, and talked about the second photographer as well. And so, you grab these URLs and look at it and make a comment. Say, oh, yeah, I like these photos too. They're really cool. Now, when you're replying to this, let me see if I can come in here and click on this. When you go to the embed image link, they might have a way, yeah, right here. You can do this too, Casey, if you want to go back and do it. On this embed link, you can, if you click on this embed image link, you put the URL in here to that tiny pic one, and in that video, I think I'll show you how to do it that way. Anyway, as soon as you put that link in there, you don't have to worry about any of this. It doesn't matter what the dimensions are. Hit upload or update, and it's going to save it in this environment for you. Okay, so pretty simple how to do. And then if you click on the embed link, it does have a Flickr page if you have Flickr, but I recommend this URL one and just using TinyPic to do it. So let me click on the website of the photographers, and we'll end on looking at this website, the Photo Argus website, which is a popular website for photographers to post their portfolios. So 40 great photographer portfolio websites for inspiration. So it goes over some reasons or different things about these portfolios, like simplicity, choosing a design to match your photography, be selective in choosing your work, keep SEO, which is basically social media type of marketing. So as we go on down here, it gets into the actual different ones. Now you can see a little snapshot you'll see of the type of photography you're talking about. Okay, so you got starting here at the top, more, portrait type of photography, landscape here, kind of landscape portrait, a little bit of, don't know what that one is, or that one's an animal being carried out on a stretcher, right? So maybe a little bit emotion on that one. Landscape, kind of a mixture here. So as you go through these, we'll just say here, let's go with this one here. I'm going to go with Eric. Okay, there's Eric's, and most of these sites are pretty cool probably, right? Because these are photographers, they're not going to have a boring site. So it'll be pretty dynamic, pretty cool to look at. And so on this one here, if I scroll down, I can actually start getting some photos I'm looking at. Keep scrolling down, looking at the photos, and I'm like, wow, this one right here catches my eye. This guy here. Don't know who he is, but I just like the photo. In fact, I know why I like it right now. He looks like my brother Mike, believe it or not. My brother Mike looks almost exactly like that without the hat and jacket. He's got doesn't have a big beard like that, a big mustache like that, but looks like my brother Mike. Mike looks totally different than me, by the way. He's skinny, has never had any, he's a bachelor his whole life, and a really cool guy, a welder by trade. But this looks like Mike. He looks pretty rough, right? But this is why it grabs my eye because it reminds my brother, and reminds me of a guy that works hard, which I definitely respect, and what built America, people that work hard. So that could be my photo. And so I'm on a Mac, right? So I'm going to screenshot it, because most of these professional photographers won't let you control click and download. They won't you do that. So this one might, I don't know. Yeah, it does. This one does let me. It would let me save the image. But I'm going to just show you how to screenshot it. I'm going to do a Shift Command 4 on my Mac. I'm going to just screenshot that picture there. And I'm going to go over here to the tiny pic. And I'm going to upload that picture I just saved. I'm just going to put in here Web233, or no, Web225. I'm going to put week 1, and you don't have to do this. I'm just playing around with it. I would leave the size at default, whatever it is, and then upload now. To help spam, it does have you type in something. It says here, oh, you have to probably watch a video, I'm guessing. Yeah, you have to watch this whole video with Flow from Progressive. Enter progressive.com. Okay, well, we'll get this ad, so we can do that. That's for spammers, so that's fine. So I'm enter progressive.com, upload now. So it's uploading. Okay, so the one I want is this one down here, this direct link with the PNG extension. I'm going to copy that, come over here to my topic, and embed the image, update, and let me scroll down further here to where I can see it. And I'm going to put a little comment here. I'm going to say this, oops. Mike. Oh my, I'm just going to post it. There's no wrong one. There's no wrong one. All right. Pretty simple, right? That's it. That's all you got to do. Questions on that? All right. So the way Eagle works, when you click next, I don't have an end of module. It'll just go to the next week. So when you see the next week, which is 2, you can stop there. Let me just show you one trick on Eagle before we're done. I do have the visual representation of each week, but the way I've set it up is when you click on each one of these visual pictures, it takes you to the task of that week, the first task. But if you want to see a global view of your task, you just click on modules on the left side of Eagle and scroll down, and you can see everything globally in that module. The other thing you guys might be interested in is due dates. Okay, if you click on syllabus, it'll have due dates for us all the way to the end of the semester, already there. And this is a real nice thing to do, because if you want to go right to an area, say you're missing a grade or you want to know right where an assignment is, you can just click right on that assignment and it'll take you right to that in Eagle. And that's really nice. So, questions? Well, guess what? You survived week 1 introduction of Web225. Again, next week, make sure and bring your camera, whatever that might be. Do not go out and buy one. I will have the portfolios up here on this table here, right over here when you come in next week. That way you can begin even start looking at portfolios and kind of what you'll be doing to get inspiration. If you have any questions about anything, shoot me a text on my number on the front page, the home page. Look forward to a great class. Look forward to getting to know everybody and having a fun class on learning more about digital photography. And again, this is an intro class, so it's nothing intermediate or advanced, but you will learn a lot of cool tips and tricks, post editing. I'm big into social media. I'm big into, sharing your files digitally, because that's what most of us do it today anyway. And so I look forward to knowing everybody and seeing you next week. All right? Have a good one. Yeah.
When I try to log on to Folky.com to free sign up, like it says wrong code entered. I don't know if it's that I'm not a robot thing. It's like really tricky.
Oh, yeah, let's go. Let me try it on mine. I've already got an account, but let me try mine just to see what's going on. Okay, so free sign up, right? That's what you did. And then if I go over here and say I'll pick a question here. Yeah. Any long?
No, I couldn't seem to find the podcast.
I had difficulty with that too on the phone.
Oh, you'll have to do it from your home
Okay.
desktop or laptop initially.
Okay.
And then once you do that, if you have an iPhone, it'll actually sync to it.
Okay,
You
great.
can find on that, but it is some digging to find it.
Okay.
I know. But follow the steps in the step by step and you can find it.
Okay.
All right, cool. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, so let me sign up real quick to see how this works. All right, so we'll do that. Then the email, okay, we'll do that email. Not a robot. You did that right.
Oh, mine
Yeah,
brought up a bunch of pictures and it asked
Oh.
me to pick something, like the ones that all have street signs and different stuff.
Yeah, it might do that sometimes,
Oh.
I'm thinking.
Okay, but it shouldn't if I do it at home.
Yeah, it won't.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, try it at home and,
Okay.
make sure
Yeah.
and use the Chrome web browser.
Oh, okay. I was using.
What we're using, Safari maybe or
Yeah.
something?
Okay.
Yeah, use Chrome web browser, you
Thanks.
should be okay.
Alright.
All right, buddy, and let me know if you can get in, if you have any problems. Because if you have problems, I'm guessing other folks might too, so let me know.
So you did do that Remembering Mom YouTube?
Do I know?
You did do that Remembering Mom YouTube video? Like the Remembering Mom?
I did, yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't inspired by this class.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
No, I'm asking if you did it.
I did it, yes, I did do that, Remembering Mom video.
This class?
Yes, it was, yeah, yep. Yeah, it's actually one of my students that put that together.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so it wasn't.
It was a portfolio that a student did for me, and then I did one myself. I did one for my family, and I had a student did one for me as well. So there are actually two of them up here, two Remembering Moms. Yeah, that's one thing I like to do that. It does. I don't know if it's. I know when my mom passed away, it was kind of a healing time thing, kind of thing, because it helped doing that. I liked it, and I don't know. I probably went through about 1,000 photos or something. So it's kind of cool. All right, Jack.
All right, thanks for-
Yeah, have a good week, man. All right, be careful. We'll see you next week.